Good morning, all. Hope you are able to hear me.
Morning, sir. Yes.
Morning.
Thanks for the confirmation. Okay. So we have completed the definition part and the assignment part. We need to start with the company code global parameters. So before that, we have a different steps. There are total 3 steps in the basic configuration. One is definition, enterprise structure definition, enterprise structure assignments, and next one company code global parameters. Already we discussed like define chart of accounts. I think I have given the definition of chart of accounts and assign company code. These are the steps. So define account groups, right? Retained earnings account and fiscal year variant. So the basic structure, most of the interview questions will be covered in FI module on this particular company code global parameters only. So total 9 to 10 steps will be there. Yeah, 9 steps will be there. Okay. Or you can take it as in currency settings also. Okay. But the most of the things here, as I said, that we need to have the basic accounting knowledge to understand these two things. One is account group and another one is chart of accounts. Chart of accounts and account groups. So yesterday we said we have already discussed what do you mean by an account, what do you mean by an accounting, what do you mean by an accountancy. If I'm not wrong, I said today's session we will try to cover a bit of accounting part so that we will not have any issues at the time of doing account groups. Correct? We discussed what is debit yesterday, what is credit, what is account, what is the difference between account, accounting, and accountancy. Correct? Any questions in that, anyone? Yes, no? Am I audible?
No, Naveen.
No questions, right? Thanks for the confirmation. Okay. So here, before we proceed to the next, what I'll do is, like, as I said that every account will have a debit and credit. I said any account, correct? Which has a 2 sides, any account will have a 2 sides, the left-hand side and the right-hand side, right? And which has the left-hand side is known as a debit and the right-hand side of any account is not known as credit. Fine. So as you know that, the accounting are classified into 2 different types. Okay. One is classical classification of accounting, account or accounts. And next one we have modern classification of accounts. Modern classification of accounts. This is majority, we know that. India and European countries will follow the classical classification of accounts, majority countries, and the US and other, they follow the modern classification of accounts. So here, what do you mean by classical? What are the classification as per classical classification of accounting is nothing but, see here. Classical, you know this. What is classical classification of accounts? Or you can call it as a traditional classification also. Or you can call it as a traditional classification. This is the old system, what we do. Traditional classification. The olden system, traditional is nothing but traditional. Instead of classical, neoclassical model. So you can call it as a traditional. What is traditional classification of accounts? Yeah.
Yeah, person real nominal. Yeah.
Yeah. See, as per traditional classification of accounts, The accounts are broadly classified into two types. The accounts are, as per traditional classification, the accounts are broadly classified into two types. First one, okay, personal accounts. You know this, but still I'm reiterating. Personal accounts, impersonal accounts. Impersonal accounts, right? This is, never ever say that it's a three types. If you are teaching your youngsters also, you're explaining your youngsters also. So don't ever say that it's a three classifications. It's only two classifications. One is personal accounts and impersonal account. Okay. So here, personal accounts. If I say personal accounts, what do you mean by personal accounts? What do you mean by personal accounts?
Person certificate person, any other institutions.
No, if I'm asking, what do you mean by personal accounts? Simple. It's very simple. The account which deals with persons. The account which deals with persons. The account one second. The account which deals with persons. Those accounts are known as personal accounts. Okay. It's very simple. What do you mean by personal account? The account which deals, see, again, I'm reiterating, any account, there may be lakhs of accounts in the organization or in the business, crores of accounts. Either they will come under either personal account or impersonal accounts only. Nothing apart from this, nothing apart from this. Okay. The personal accounts are further classified into three types. That is again natural persons, artificial persons, and representative persons. So these are the three persons. Like as per personal accounts, the persons are classified: natural persons, artificial persons, and representative persons. So what do you mean by natural person? Natural persons. Who are natural persons? As per business, as per accounting, clear, as per Companies Act 9.
Person who owns the business.
Sorry?
Person who owns the business as a person, not artificial.
See, normally I said not person. I'm asking who is natural persons. Okay. All the human beings who involved, this is the cause. All the human beings who involved in all economic activities, like buying and selling of goods and services and as well as who involved in receipts and payments of cash or cash worth. All those persons are considered as natural persons. Clear? Who all are natural persons here? Natural persons are nothing but the human beings. All human beings are not natural persons? No. As per Companies Act, all the natural, as per accounting standards, Indian accounting standards or total, all natural persons are human beings? No. There is a cause. What does it mean? The persons who involved in all economic activities, buying and selling of goods and services, and who involved in receipts and payments of cash or cash worth, then all those persons are considered as a natural persons. Understood? For example, are we involved in all economic activities? We are human beings. That's first point. Are we involved in all economic
No.
activities? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So we are considered as a natural person. And who is not, even though they are human beings, who are not involved in all economic activities, then they are not considered as a natural persons according to this. What do you mean that? For example, if you take mentally retarded person, they are human beings, but will they involve in all economic activities? Yeah. Will they involve?
No.
So according to this, they are not considered as a new natural persons. Same time, kids, probably 3 years kids or 2 years kids, they are human beings. But will they involve a minor or whatever we call here? So they are not considered as a natural persons. So first thumb rule, who are the natural persons? That is very important. Natural persons are nothing but human beings, first condition. But same time, they are supposed to involve in all economic activities like buying and selling of goods and services, and same time receipts and payments of cash or cash worth. Then they are considered as a natural persons. Example, anything, we all are considered as a natural person. If I take then artificial persons, artificial persons. Okay, who are artificial persons? Means artificial persons are not natural, but still involved in all economic activities. Like, I don't want to give all economic, you know that. All economic activities. Okay. Then those persons are known as artificial persons. Is this clear? Who are artificial persons? Artificial persons are not natural persons. Means they are not human beings, but still they involved in all economic activities like buying and selling of goods and services and receipt and payment of cash or cash worth. Right? For example, you have deposited amount in the bank. You have deposited amount in the bank. So what you will say? What you will say? Or you paid college fee. What you will say? What we will say?
Fee accumulated to cash.
Paid. Sorry. I'm
I
not asking
I
journal
paid
entry.
the fees to the
I-
college.
I'm not asking journal
Yeah.
entry. I'm asking you paid a college fees, and for example, 50,000 you paid it, and somebody asked what you did with the 50,000. What you will say?
Paid fees to college. So college is
College.
artificial person, right? Yeah.
Paid, right?
Paid.
Paid college fees. See, what you are saying that we paid fee to college means according to that, college is the receiver, correct? College is receiving when we are paying. But does the college is directly receiving? Does college is directly receiving, or any accountant or a clerk will receive on behalf of college?
Accountant.
The accountant or clerk. Yeah.
But are we saying that we paid fee to a clerk or an accountant?
No, we are saying college.
College, correct? So we are considering college as a person. Same thing, deposited in bank. What you did with this 30,000? You will say that we have deposited in bank. We paid into bank. So we are considering who is the receiver here. Who is the receiver? When we paid,
College is a receiver.
Artificial person.
paid into bank.
Artificial.
Paid into bank. Who is the receiver? Bank is the receiver.
Cashier. Bank is a receiver.
That
We are saying
Bank is an artificial person.
No, I'm not asking whether it's an artificial or what. Who is the receiver? I'm asking.
Cashier is a receiver. Bank.
Cashier is the receiver, but you are
the
you saying
teller,
that
yeah.
we paid to
Hmm.
cashier or paid to accountant?
No, we paid to bank.
No.
Bank.
We will say that we paid to bank, correct? Right? We are considering bank as a person. So artificially legal entity, what do you mean by an entity? You remember we use the term called entity. Company code is an entity. Company as an entity. What do you mean by an entity? Entity is nothing but a recognition as a person or an artificial person or a representative person. What do you entity? Business entity concept. What do you mean by business entity concept? As per the business entity concept, owner is different from the business. What do you mean by entity concept? Says entity is nothing but a recognition. As per that recognition, owner is different and a business is a different. That is a thumb rule. Clear? Owner is different person and business is a different person. And whenever we do accounting, remember this thumb point. I'll make a note of it. Remember a thumb point. Whenever we do accounting, we need to consider ourselves as a business. We need to consider ourselves as a business, not the owner. Clear? We need to consider ourselves as a business, and we always do the account in business point of view, not owner point of view. We always perform the accounting on a business point of view, not owner point of view. That is called entity concept. If you merge together accounts of owner and accounts of business, then you won't get any accurate results at any point of time. The first entity concept, that is very important. Entity concept means what entity said? Entity says is a recognition. Means we are considering business as a person. What kind of person it is? It is an artificial. Why it's an artificial? Because it's not a natural person. It's not a human being. But still business going to be involved in all economic activities. So that's the reason we consider business as an artificial person. Clear? Anything, bank, college, or company, right? Next one, your hospitals, restaurants, shopping centers or shopping malls, whatever you call, who involved in business activity and they are not natural persons, then they are considered as an artificial persons. Right? You can take any example here. Example, business, hospitals, colleges, etc., etc. Is this clear? Artificial person. Yes.
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
Next one, we have one more person. It's very important. Okay, representative persons. What is representative persons?
The person who is representing someone, like working on someone's behalf.
See here, so artificial person is also representing a person only, right? Then what is the difference? See, representative persons are nothing but, it's very important. See, again, I'm going. For example, we need to pay. We are in, for example, we completed July month, right? Across the globe, we have completed July month, right? July month, we are staying in a rented property. We have in rented property, and every month we are paying 30,000 as a rent. 30,000 as a rent. Every month we are paying from past 3 to 4 years. Okay. Due to some reasons, July month, we need to pay on either 1st July or 31st of July, for example, as per your agreement between your owner. So you need to pay on or before 31st July, this particular rent, 30,000 rent. So unfortunately, so for July month, so this is July month, this 30,000 for July month will become, we are, for example, still we are in July month. Just consider, still we are in July month. Okay. For July month, it will, this 30,000 rent will become an expense. Correct? We are in August month, for example, right? We are in August month. Whatever rent we are supposed to pay, we need to pay the rent from 1st August to, for example, till 20th of August. Till 20th of August, the agreement was there. So from 1st August to 20th August, whatever rent is there, okay, if we are paying, then what it is it an expense, asset, or what? What is this?
Yeah, expensive.
It's expense only, correct? Whatever we need to pay, that is an expense. And unfortunately, we have not able to pay July month. What is today's date? 17th of August. We are not able to pay this 30,000 rent. Last month rent. We have utilized that particular property and we have not yet paid. We have not yet paid. So till July month, it's an expense. Now we are in August month. Then what happens is July month rent for us now. What it will become now?
Liability.
Liability, exactly. It will become an outstanding rent. Outstanding rent in the sense last month rent or last year rent, something which we are liable to pay. We have utilized the services. But we have not paid in that particular year or in that particular month. Now we are in different year or different month. Now we are liable to pay. It's a mandatory to pay them. Then it will become, it turns into from expense to a liability. It turns into expense to a liability. So this is considered as an outstanding expenses. Whatever expenses we are liable to pay. Outstanding expenses. Understood? Outstanding expenses. And same time, so we are in August month. We are same rented property we are in. But what we did is, we have paid already August month rent, and we have paid 2 additional months rent. That is nothing but September and October month we paid to our owner. Now we are in August month, but we paid in future rent also we paid. And unfortunately, we have vacated the house on 27th of August. Due to some reasons, we have vacated that particular house on 27th of August. So what owner has to do? What owner has to do? Yes, understood my question? We are in August month. We paid August month rent in advance. We paid complete August month. And apart from August month, we have paid next month rent also, September and as well as October. That is 30 plus 30. 60,000 we paid him in advance. And unfortunately, we vacated the house on 25th of August. So what it will be now? What owner has to do?
Repay the amount.
We should
Owner has to
return the
repay.
advance
Owner
amount.
has to repay to us, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Owner
Yes.
has to repay because we are not utilizing the services for next 2 months. Right? Something which we need to
Yes.
get it back. Something which we are tentatively receive. We are supposed to receive from someone. Okay. They are liable to pay us. We are supposed to receive. Then that is considered as an asset. If we are liable to pay someone, then that is nothing but an liability. If someone is liability to pay us, then that will become an asset to us. So this is called, if next month rent you are paying in advance or whatever expenditure you are paying in advance before taking the services, then that is considered as a prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses. In this terminology, we call it as an accruals and deferrals. Accruals and deferrals. In accounting, not accounting terminology, in our account, this one, software terminology, we used to call it as an accruals and deferrals. I'll give you the same meaning. All outstanding expenses and all prepaid expenses are considered as an accrual or deferrals. Clear? Same thing. We are working in an organization. Okay. Our monthly salary is, for example, 60,000. Our monthly salaries, and every company, what they will do is, they will sometimes, not only company, in some businesses, some organizations, what they will give them one facility called salary advance. Salary advance. Okay. So what we did, we took this, what we have got this month salary, August month salary, and we took 1 lakh rupee as a salary advance. 1 lakh rupee as a salary advance. Fine. We took salary as an advance, and unfortunately, we left the organization in the month of August itself. We took in the month of August, actually our salary is 50,000, correct? And per month, and we took a salary advance on August 15th, 1 lakh salary as an advance, and we left the organization on 20th of August. So what we need to do?
We need to pay it back.
Nothing but this is called income received in advance. If we are not giving services, then what we need to do? We are liable to pay to the company. That is called unaccrued income. Income received in advance or unaccrued income is one and the same. Unaccrued income. Same time, you worked for July month. You worked for June month. But unfortunately, due to some reason, your organization, due to some financial crisis, then they have not paid your income. They have taken your services. But unfortunately, they are not able to pay June and July month. They said that they will pay in the month of September. Right? Already you have provided the services, but you have not received the income. Then what it will become? Is it an asset or a liability? You have provided services, but you have not taken the amount. You have not taken your income.
It's a liability.
Sorry, is it an asset or a liability?
Liability.
It's asset.
Why liability? It's our right to take from them, right? It's our right,
Oh, yeah.
because we have already provided the services. It's an asset. What we call it as an incomes to be received. Income to be received. Accrued incomes. What do you mean by accrued incomes? Accrued income is nothing but we have already provided services, but we have not received yet. Then that is called accrued income. Income to be received. And what do you mean by unaccrued income? We have not given services, but we have received income in advance. Then that is considered as an unaccrued incomes. Unaccrued income is nothing but a liability. Accrued income is nothing but an asset. Right? So all outstanding expenses, all prepaid expenses, all prepaid expenses, all accrued incomes, and all unaccrued incomes. All unaccrued incomes are considered as representative persons. Understood? So natural persons, artificial persons, and this is a very big concept in any ERP or in our real time. We call it as an open item management in SAP. So there is a very big concept on open item management. If you understand this particular concept, then open item management will not be a challenge for you. Again, we will repeat this. What do you mean by open item management? Clear? Again, I am reiterating 100% guaranteed that you will get a question on this open item management. How you will treat open item management. Okay. So understood what do you mean by natural persons, artificial persons, and representative persons?
Yes.
Next one.
Sir, can you please repeat once again the representative persons?
See, it's simple, very simple. See, whatever salaries we need to pay our employees. Employees are the natural persons, correct? And we are supposed to pay them. So we are paying by taking services for that particular month, it will become an expense. Okay. And we have taken the services. But we have not paid them yet. So that particular month, it will become an expense. But if we crossed that particular month, if we crossed that particular year, but still we have not paid them, right? Then it will become from expense to liability. To whom we need to pay? To the employees, right? Employees are natural persons. Then this outstanding expense, salaries are nothing but your outstanding expenses. Rent is nothing but your outstanding expenses. To whom we need to pay? To a natural person or to an artificial person. Then all outstanding expenses will turn into expense to liability, which represent to whom we need to pay. Then that is considered as an representative persons. All outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued incomes, and unaccrued incomes. Any questions here? Is this clear now?
Yes, got it.
Yeah. Again, we will discuss at this particular point of time when we do our open item management part. So meanwhile, try to understand this. Okay. So next one, if we take impersonal accounts, the second one. Impersonal accounts. The accounts which won't deals with persons, those accounts are known as impersonal accounts. The accounts which won't deals with persons. Okay, those accounts are impersonal account. For example, the impersonal accounts are further classified into two types. One is real accounts, and second one nominal accounts. Nominal accounts. Clear? So as per this, personal accounts, the account which deals with persons, that account is nothing but personal accounts. Persons are classified into three different types: natural persons, artificial, and representative persons. And same time, again, once we discussed about this, impersonal accounts. So what do you mean by impersonal accounts? It's clearly stating that impersonal, which means that which won't deal with persons. So again, impersonal accounts are further classified into two types. What are they? Real accounts and nominal accounts. Right? What do you mean by a real account? What do you mean by real accounts?
Which deal with the cash, real, assets.
Exactly. If somebody is asking you, what do you mean by real account? Again, we will ask for freshers right now.
Assets related transactions comes in a real account,
Sorry, which assets?
like furniture, machinery.
Okay, I'll ask.
All cash related transactions.
No,
will
not
come
cash. That is called cash transaction. We're not talking about transactions right now. First of all, I would like to understand what is real account actually. Right, we have freshers here. I'll just check. Yes,
The assets which business deals in those assets, so those are considered as real accounts.
no. One second. Sahiti and Vamshi, is it possible? What do you mean by real account? I'll ask the freshers more in accounting part. Quickly, we are running short of time. Sahiti, what do you mean by real account? Vamshi, if possible. Are you people are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, debit what comes into the business.
Sorry, no, I'm not asking the rule. I'm asking what exactly the real account is. Correct, whatever you said is. Please kindly answer whenever I'm asking with picking up the names, because I don't want to check, but the freshers, you need to have the knowledge already. You will learn recently, right? These things. Okay, so real accounts, as you said, the account, as you mentioned, the same thing. Somebody has given the answer. The accounts which deals with business assets. The account which deals with business assets, those accounts are known as real accounts. Understood? See, again, I'm using not only assets, I'm using the term called business assets. I'm using the term called business assets. We won't say that the account which deals with assets, no. Assets could be any from anyone's assets, right? Owner assets, creditors assets, debtors assets, bank assets, anything. But here I'm using the term called a real account. The accounts which deals in business assets. Okay, business assets, those accounts are known as real accounts. Understood? Any questions on this? Understood?
What
Yes.
are business assets?
Anything what you said. Business asset, it could be your cash. Correct? It could be a furniture, computer, machinery, land, building.
So why we cannot say it as an asset? Why we are saying it as a
Because
business
see,
asset?
someone land will not be my asset, right? You are having your own house. Can I say this is my asset?
No.
Can I say? Is it possible to
No.
say? Understood? Got
No.
my point why I'm saying business asset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
got it.
asset is nothing but someone it would be an asset, for someone it would be a liability. Correct. I need to pay you. I need to pay you. I need to pay you. Then I'll become an asset to you because you need to get money from me. But from me, what you are? You are a liability to me, correct? I need to pay you. So that's the reason I'm
Correct.
specifyingly mentioning business assets here. All other assets will not become a business assets. Whatever business is having, then that is considered as a business assets. Got my point?
Yeah,
Yes.
Naveen.
Yeah, thank you. So again, actually I'm not supposed to cover here assets. So real account you understood, right? So again, I'll ask the question. As per real account, the assets are, it's very, very important again. The assets are broadly, again, freshers, I'm going to ask the question. Be ready. As per real account, assets are broadly classified into two types. Okay. How many types of assets? Assets are classified into two types. How many types of assets? We have two types of assets. One is current assets. Second one, fixed assets. So the assets are classified into, I'll take examples. Okay. What is current asset? Again, same. Vamshi and Sahiti. Quick. If you don't know, tell me don't know, so that we can go with the others.
Maybe it's a short-term asset of the company where
What
they
do you
can
mean by
make it money
short-term asset?
basically. Maybe they just need it for temporary purpose, maybe for 1 or 2 years.
How can you define? Anyone can answer apart from this?
The assets which can convert into cash within 1 year or one accounting period cycle.
Correct. See, what does it mean in the sense? Yeah, perfectly. Current assets are those assets. It's a standard definition. It's accounting standard definition. Remember that majority people know current assets and fixed assets, but what exactly the current asset? The asset which can be converted into cash quickly. The asset which can be converted into cash quickly. Okay. Then those assets are nothing but current assets. Understood? Then those assets are considered as a current asset. Quickly, I'm saying. Quickly in the sense from how much time? It's a 1 year time. The assets which can be converted into cash within a year time, then that is considered as a current assets. Quickly in the sense how much time here? 1 year time. But again, one more question here. 1 year in the sense from when to when? Okay. Each company, when they will prepare a balance sheet? Every year or every month or every day or every 5 years?
Every
Year.
Year.
Correct. Current assets are nothing but the assets which can be converted into cash. That is nothing but from preparation of one balance sheet, from preparation of one balance sheet to preparation of another balance sheet. Then all those assets are considered as current assets. Okay. Simple. Current asset. What do you mean by current asset? The assets which can be converted into cash quickly. The assets which can be quickly in the sense from what? 1 year time. Again, there is one more question. 1 year in the sense from when to when? So 1 year in the sense from preparation of one balance sheet to another balance sheet. Nothing but within a year we will prepare, right? So whatever assets can be converted into cash, then those assets are nothing but current assets. Okay, what do you mean by real account? The account which deals with the business assets. Those accounts are known as real account. And again, assets I said, but I need to understand what do you mean asset? Asset is nothing but a properties of a business. Source of a resources of a business. In accounting terminology, what do you mean asset? Asset is nothing but a resources of a business. Whatever resources business having, and those resources are further classified into two types: current resources and fixed resources. What do you mean by current resources? Is nothing but current assets. What do you mean by current asset? The assets which can be converted into cash quickly from preparation of one balance sheet to another balance sheet. And all those assets are nothing but current assets. Understood? Example. Okay, cash in hand or cash, you can take cash. Already it is in liquid, correct? So it is a first current asset. Okay, next one, cash at bank. So whenever you want, you can go and you can withdraw from your ATM or your bank. So cash at bank. Next one, sundry debtors, bills, receivables. Okay, sundry debtors, bills receivable, prepaid expenses, accrued incomes, okay, accrued incomes. Next one, last but not least, I'm just taking few examples. Closing stock or inventory. In SAP terminology, we call them as an inventories. Clear? Understood? What do you mean by current assets? The assets which can be converted into cash quickly. Quickly in the sense 1 year. 1 year in the sense from preparation of one balance sheet to another balance sheet. Then all those assets are considered as a current asset. Now I'll check, what do you mean by fixed assets? It's a simple term, correct? Fixed assets. Opposite to this, the assets which cannot be converted into cash quickly. Okay. From preparation of one balance sheet to another balance sheet. From preparation of one balance sheet to preparation of another balance sheet. Then those assets are considered as fixed assets. Is this clear? For example, land or a building. Why I'm calling it a building as a fixed asset? Why can't it will be a current asset?
Because there is no surety we can convert in 1 year.
Why not? If you want to put a sale within a year from preparation of one balance sheet, can't we sell them?
We can, but still there's no surety of it.
Not surety, right? I'm not asking. See, as I said, that cash at bank, I'm calling it as a current asset. Probably not sure if bank shutdowns means completely bank has been closed, bankrupt. bank become a bankrupt. Then see, land is there, computer is there, my computer. So if I want to sell, can't I sell within a year time? Is it possible to sell or not?
I think movable or immovable assets is like it's
Not
fixed assets
movable
are
or
like
immovable. Machinery, how land, is it not a fixed asset?
yeah, it's a fixed asset.
Machinery is not a fixed asset. Computer, is it movable or not movable? Land is
It's a
not
movable.
movable. Sorry.
Yeah, it's movable asset. Computers.
Then why it's considered as a fixed then? If it is movable, then why I'm calling it as a, it's 100% fixed asset, my computer. Why it will be considered as a fixed asset? Building, fixed asset, land, fixed asset, furniture. Even we are calling furniture as a fixed asset, my chair and table. So I can, whenever I want to move, I can move them. Whenever I want to sell, I can sell them. But still I'm considering it as a fixed asset. Why? Why can't
Those
it
assets
be a,
we are using in the business purpose.
so what? Even whatever current assets, I'll use it for my business purpose. That's the reason I said real accounts are nothing but business assets. Understood my question, everyone? Yes, no?
Yeah, Naveen, yeah.
See, simple, very, very simple. As someone said just now, see, at the time of purchase of a building, see, there are two types. For example, I have taken two buildings. I'll take in another document. I have taken two buildings. 50,000 per month rented building. Rented building. And one more building, building A this is. And building B. Building B, I have purchased for 50 lakhs. Don't count the zeros, I'm saying 50 lakhs. Okay, purchased building B. So here, when I took a building for rent, so I know that every month on 31st, I need to pay. What I have to pay? I need to pay what for this building? Rent we need to pay every month. That's okay, fine. So when I am purchasing on 1st April 2023, I have purchased this building. Okay. So at that time, and this is, as I said, that somebody business use, nothing but for my business, to run my business, I have purchased, we have purchased the building. So at the time of purchase of building, do you think that you are going to sell this building on 31st of April 2024? Are you going to sell this building?
No.
What is your intention at the time of purchasing?
To keep long term.
We want to use them for long term, correct?
Yes.
Right. Same time, furniture I have purchased on 1st April 2023. What would be the intention at the time of purchase? Are we going to sell on 1st April or 31st April or in between? Are we going to sell this furniture? No, right? Same time, I have purchased a computer for my business use. I want to maintain a software, SAP in that. So do I say I have purchased on 1st April a computer with high configuration? So am I going to sell this for computer on 31st of April 2020, 31st of March 2024? Am I going to sell? Are we going to sell? Got my question? At the time of purchase of a computer, what is the intention of this computer? I want to maintain a software like ERP, complete accounts. I want to maintain complete data of business in this computer. So I have purchased on 1st April. So on that particular day, what is my intention? What will be our intention? We want to sell on 31st of April 2024, or we want to use for longer period.
We'll use for long term.
Correct? So what is our intention at the time of purchase? Clear? So that will become an asset to you, fixed asset. Why we are calling it as a fixed asset? Because we want to use them for a longer period. Same thing. Now, is this clear now? What do you mean by fixed assets? The assets which will purchased for longer use. Then those assets are considered as a fixed assets. Then current assets, why we can't current assets in the sense, for example, sold goods to Y on credit 50,000 rupees. Sold goods to Y on credit 50,000 rupees. So here, are we give him a time to pay after 3 years or after 5 years? Do we give time to pay after 5 years or after 10 years?
No.
No. Normally, what is the term we will take in any ERP terminology, any business point of view? Sorry. Normally, the payment term, we call it as an SAP payment terms. Normally, we will give a credit period of 15 days, okay, 45 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, max to max 240 days. Right? What is the credit period we will give? 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, standard I am saying. 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, okay, 180 days and 240 days, not more than that. So we want to cover within balance sheet only. So that is the reason we will consider this as a current asset. Debtors are current assets. Now understood what is fixed assets and current assets? Yes, no.
Yeah.
Yes,
Naveen,
Sir, please. Yes, someone asking questions, or is that fine? Hello?
No.
Okay, fine. Fixed assets are of two types again. Fixed assets are of two types. One is tangible fixed assets. Tangible fixed assets. And second one, intangible fixed assets. Intangible fixed assets. Okay, tangible fixed assets, intangible fixed assets. So what do I mean by tangible fixed assets? The assets which we can touch and see. Those assets are nothing but tangible fixed assets, like your machinery, computer, and all those stuff. And what do you mean by intangible fixed assets? The assets which we can't touch and we can't see. Those assets are nothing but your intangible fixed assets, like goodwill.
goodwill.
Right? Brand, whatever brand you call it as a goodwill, right? Patents, trademarks, royalties, all those stuff comes under intangible fixed assets. Is this clear? Any questions? Why? Because
No.
why I am going this much depth in the sense, when we do account groups, so we will classify different ledger accounts, some accounts into current assets, some account into fixed assets, right? So at that particular point of time, you are not supposed to get any sort of issues. If you are perfect in account classification, because again, I'm telling you, as a consultant point, it's very important, because you will reach client place and you don't have a knowledge on accounting group and all these particular things. So your end user, client, will have a good hands-on knowledge on these particular things, because it's his day-to-day activity. So he will have a hands-on experience in these particular things. So if you say fixed asset as a current asset as a fixed asset, even though you have a good hands-on experience in SAP, but he will understand, because these are the basics. If you don't have a skill set on these basics, then definitely your client will not have a faith or trust whatever things you are going to do. So that is the reason I'll try to cover as much as, because majority people, consultants, hope you know it or not, SAP, people will say that getting a SAP job is not that tough. Getting a SAP job is very easy, but surviving on the floor is a challenge. Surviving on the floor is a challenge. Clear? See, why surviving is the challenge for other people in the sense, see, if you do practice for 10 to 15 times, so we can do entire thing, even though SAP is ocean, but at least we will practice, then at least we will remember 60% of SAP configurations. Something which we forget, everyone will forget the configuration part. Correct. So at that particular time, if any challenge comes, we will have a breathe time. So we can get it back from we can take a help, or we can Google it, we can resolve that issues. That is not a challenge here. Configuration, customization are not a challenge in real time. But who will say this? Surviving on the floor is a challenge. The people who doesn't have a basic of this, whatever we are trying to cover here. Because over there on the floor, no one will teach this. No one will teach this. Again, I'm reiterating. They will say they will help you how to configure and whatever it is. But if you want first time, they will teach you. But still, we don't have a basics of this. You current asset means this is current asset. They will say this is unit. Next time you have came into one more scenario where there the other asset is mentioned. And again, you have a challenge. What is this? Is it comes under a current asset or a fixed asset? And again, you will wait for other dependency. So that's the reason people who don't have the skill set, the 15% of accounting or 20% of accounting knowledge, the base accounting, then those people will have a challenge on the floor. Clear? See, again, our academics need to teach us why and what. But what happens is they will give the scores, but they never ever teach why and what. They never ever teach why and what. Debit means debit, and they will come with the rules. They will come with the rules. Debit means personal account, real account, nominal account. Debit what comes in, debit the receiver, credit the giver, debit what comes in, credit what goes out, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. That's it. But what is debit? I need to understand first. Clear, everyone? Any questions? So tomorrow also we will spend little time in accounting, because however we are doing a chart of accounts, after that we will do account groups. So at that particular point of time, you need to have, you are not supposed to have any sort of challenges in understanding that account group. I can do without this also, I can do account groups. Without explaining this particular whatever theoretical part, I can directly do accounting groups, but you will understand. What you will understand, we need to give account group number ranges. These are accounts we need to create, but we don't know why, what is current asset, what is fixed asset, what is direct expense, indirect expenses, and all this stuff. Directly we will follow. That's the reason people will come in 3 months or 2 months. Yeah, please, sir.
Sir, do you have as such a literature which you've been teaching into your previous classes about? Because for me and for other students maybe as well, probably I'm assuming that it's been almost like a 15, 12, 13 years that we didn't touch this accounts at all.
Sorry?
So we are just like a fresher now who has no background knowledge, but it may not gonna take much time to, recollect that. But do you have as such a literature which we can go through it?
See, what I'll do is, it's again depends. See how I'm going to deal these accounting sessions in the sense according to batch wise. See, for example, in few batches, I have a completely freshers. So probably they have the accounting skills. So, and in one batch, you trust me or not, we have a completely professional people there who have completed almost 7 to 8 CAs are there, and 3 to 4 CWAs are there, and CS people are there. Already they are consultants. So normally I won't go in depth of accounting for them. Hope you got my point. So that is the reason, don't worry about it. Maybe 12 years or 13 years. I'll just start the things with the layman perspective itself. So don't worry, time killing or whatever, but we will complete everything on time. With this particular, I will cover everything. I will cover everything in accounting and 20%, 30%, which we required to maintain. And at this particular point of time, once we complete this 30% of accounting, I'm sorry, 30% of accounting, I'm very sorry, 30% of accounting, we can complete 100%. After completion of this 25% of accounting, if you understand, then the remaining 75% you can handle very smooth. Hope you got my point.
Hopefully, sir.
Clear?
I think so.
Yeah.
Actually, Naveen, Vikram is saying, do we have like any literature for that? Like whatever accounting you are teaching in this, do we have any like a PDF or a Word file for all this theory?
No, I don't. Actually, what I'll do is I'll prepare it and I'll trash it then and there itself. Because see, depend. See, some batches, what I'll do, I'll directly start away chart of accounts and I'll complete. So whenever I'll start the GL module at that particular time, I'll take a bit of bits and pieces in accounting, and few batches I'll combine all the batches and I'll take accounting. So why I'm doing a separate with your batch in the sense, why I'm taking separate your batch in the sense, because our timings will not map with any other batches because your time zone. So that's what I'm saying. We will cover that 30% basics, not the basics, the complete accounting, whatever you did in your +2, +3 years of your graduation and 2 years of masters, right? That we are going to cover, but initial level, it will take little time. But after that, you will do bank reconciliation statement manually. I'll teach. Probably majority people left it as an option or a choice, or they might forget it. So, but even I'll give in a fingertips. Same thing again, we have a challenge with CO module. When we start our CO module, we will have a cost accounting problem, cost and management accounting problem, majority people. But again, we are going to do from scratch, right? So with the fingertips, you can understand how to prepare a job sheet, cost sheet. Clear? All the stuff I'll give with the fingertips. But these are the basics where we need to understand mandatory. So I'll share this documentation. Any other questions? See, why again I'm reiterating, don't consider this as a waste of time or something else, because without having a knowledge of this, we can't do anything in SAP again. We can do it, but not after. On the floor, definitely we will face a lot of challenges. That's the reason I said I have prepared this particular course, whatever challenges people are facing on the floor and at the interview point. Not like any like a post-mortem things, like whatever traditional way people are teaching, this is called SAP, this is called chart of accounts. No. This particular course is designed such a way that once you stepped out from this particular this thing, then you are not supposed to face any sort of challenge. At least 85% you are not supposed to face. Hope you got my point. Yes, no.
Yes.
Yeah, we got it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, thank you. We will do one more day of this particular session, and wherever we require, definitely we will do it. And I'll prepare only one documentation in everything accounting. I'll do in this particular documentation itself, so that at the once I'll share with you, so that you can have all together at once. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you in tomorrow's session.
Thank you, Naveen.
Thank you once again.